Now what we're going to do, we're going to create our first method. Now the first thing in object oriented, what you're going to do, you're going to create something called a constructor. If you haven't heard of a constructor, this is when you're actually creating the object. You need to create the to initialize all the properties that's required. So this is pretty much where it begins for this object when it comes to life. So I'm going to create a public, because obviously if you're not aware, public to make it accessible outside this object. If it was private, then it will basically be accessible only within this file or this class, but it won't be accessible in the main application. We don't want, we don't want that to happen, because obviously it would be like invisible for the application. So we want to make it visible, and visible everywhere, so it can be used anywhere in our application, whether it's in the main project or in the form or wherever we like. We want to be able to bring it to life anywhere we like in the actual application. So that's why I'm using public here. And the thing is, I have to call it exactly the same name as the class name. And this time, this is a class whereby this, if it was just blank and we just want to initialize it without a parameter, then that would be correct. But in this case, we're going to add another parameter, which is a string, the file name itself, and I'm going to call it file name. When we bring in this object to life, we want to actually give it a file name, or somehow the program has to pass a file name to, which obviously the user would have provided by filling that form. So I hope it's all clear so far. So let's start by adding a file. But just before we do that, I mean, we could just do it. Yeah, okay. Let me just add the file. This SR. Now this SR basically refers to this one up here. There it is, SR here. So I always do that. It just helps me to know that this is actually a property, not anything else, not that was just something SR here or something else, or a local variable in that method. And so I always use this style by having this dot and referring to these things up here. So SR, and what we want to do is I want to say new, and now I'm creating an instance of that stream reader. And inside here, the way to use stream reader, you put file, and now what I want to do is I want to open the file open. Let's find open, just missed it. See, open read, and there's open write as well, so this is to open the file and actually write to it. We don't want to do that, we just want to say open, and then once we've opened the file, we have to give the file name. Now in this case, the file name is coming from here, so this variable is being passed by the user, and then whatever values inside here is going to go inside here. So that's how easy it is. You just basically copy that in there, and that basically refers to whatever values in here, it will be placed in here. Next, what we'll do, we'll say the file mode, missed it, file mode dot, and now we're going to say open. If I said create, it will create that file. If it didn't exist, it will create a new instance of that file. So it will actually create a file called whatever the users typed in, and that isn't the idea. We want to actually load the file if the file exists. So we're going to again put two brackets and then semicolon at the end.